Tracking guests to contact trace them with their permission, of course, for 2 weeks after you leave your Vegas hotel stay. Virtual reality poker rooms, would that really eat into the casino's profits? We'll talk about that. How about gourmet meals delivered with food services like the ones you could already do on Amazon to try to entice you to come back to Las Vegas? Compliments of the casino, of course, plus this ridiculous rumor that I heard from Vital Vegas. I'm not saying he's ridiculous or she, I think it's a he. I'm just saying the Rio, it's probably not being used as a hospital, right? Right? I don't know. We're going to talk about that as well. How's it going, everybody? My name's Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I hope you would like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the future notifications on the videos. I totally forgot how busy Valley View gets over here by Valley View and Flamingo, so we're going to hear some car noise for a few minutes. But we're going to talk about some things that are talking about, they're not rumors that may not happen, because they're not rumors, they're coming from the actual casino world. That's from my source. We're also going to talk about this Vital Vegas business where apparently the Rio over here is being used as a triage hotel of sorts, which I don't know. You know, the last thing that they posted up about the Sahara being closed after September kind of got out of control and everything was deleted. I don't know if lawsuits were thrown around. That's not my business. That's way above my pay grade to know on this channel. But I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications so you guys know when I do the new videos. Also, leave us a comment below. Would you do virtual gambling? Would you accept free food from the hotels delivered to your house so you get a taste of Las Vegas to try to entice you back? And would you play virtual poker if they change the laws to do so? There's a couple of things about that seem kind of weird to me, but that's what they're actually talking about. My source is never wrong. I want you guys to also check us out on the Patreon if you guys want to. Be in the credits of the videos. Not this video because we had a big turnover and I have to readjust who's in the Patreon. So if you guys are on Patreon, look for a note from me so I can get your right name as you want it displayed. Also, you guys can visit vegasfacemask.com. The only 2 face masks you'll ever need. Made by my wife here in Vegas. There's over 60 varieties now. There's more going up every single day. 2 for $25. They ship anywhere. vegasfacemask.com. No S on the end. Plus Amazon links if you guys want to support us from the first comments of this video. Boom! All right, so we got some stuff. We're going to get to the Rio in just a minute right here. But what about this? What about major casino operators considering deploying VR virtual reality gaming experiences to give you the feeling of being in Las Vegas, giving you the experience, but not having you have to be here? So all you guys who want to do poker and things like that, you know, you have an Oculus or you have something. Maybe we're talking about online gaming being deployed across the entire sector, the whole market. Maybe we're talking about that. Maybe we're at that point where Vegas and Nevada and the state laws can be loosened up. I don't know. Now, usually online gaming, if this is an online thing, God knows, if it's just in your room, that could be a possibility too, where you check into your room at a place like Rio, except that the Rio is apparently being used as a field hospital, which, again, I don't think that's true. That's just, by the way, First Amendment or freedom of speech or whichever one it is, I'm so sorry, it's early morning. I'm not saying that's true, so don't come at me there, Caesars Entertainment, to sue me. We'll get to that in just a minute. If you check into your hotel, you're at the Caesars Palace, and you decide it's not for you to want to go on the floor to game, are they going to provide you a virtual reality headset? Are you going to be welcomed into the game and be able to just gamble virtually? Interesting idea. I guess it would keep people, you know, from the casino floor, and you can still enjoy your Las Vegas experience, seeing all the sights and sounds and doing the nice restaurants and dining without having to touch cards and chips and everything, which hopefully you're hoping are sanitized. They're sanitized, right? Tell me they're sanitized, everybody. The other thing we got to talk about here, the other thing coming from the casinos, which is, I'm not saying these are all going to happen. They could happen. Some kind of promotion that gets you guys gourmet meals or buffet style meals. You know how the Wynn is doing their buffet, but it's a restaurant experience, where it's sent to your house wherever you live, to keep the idea of Las Vegas in your head, to keep you remembering us. Possibly, I would imagine there would be some kind of promotional coupon to get you to come back. These would be free of charge. Would you buy into something like that? I think it's a good idea. It might be a bit of a loss leader or a big loss leader. You know, you might have to apply for it. Maybe it would be something that was offered up to rewards members. But they could always work with local companies. You know, when you go into a 7-Eleven store and you see that they're got sandwiches, and the sandwiches are all the same, they're not all coming from the same place. If you're in LA, they hire a third party to make them. And if you're in Vegas, there's a place in Las Vegas that makes those same sandwiches. So they could just partner up, and it would put people to work in those places, hire people to make the food and have it shipped to your house. You know, God knows if it's going to be the same taste. I'm not a big fan of TV dinners, but it might be an interesting experience as well for you guys to have that offered up to you. It'd be a neat little promotional tool, thinking out of the box. Casinos now, with permission, considering tracking you 2 weeks after you leave. This is the big one that I think might be interesting if the casinos show that they want to care, but are you okay with the idea of being tracked with the casino's permission, of course, for 2 weeks after you leave? You know, they send you a survey, ask you how you're feeling, ask you if you have any symptoms. They're not requiring you to submit to any kind of a test, but a lot of places are now. You know, we have to talk about EDC here as a break for a minute. The EDC is going to be going next May. They're skipping this year entirely. And you know the way they're going to do it? You have to have a test twice. You have to have a test before you leave home, and you have to have a test before you enter into the EDC. So some of these places are going to require testing. If the casinos offered up some contact tracing options, would you participate in that to make it a better experience? I imagine some people would. I imagine some people are fervently yelling, no, of course not. I would never do that. I might fall into the I would never do that because I don't know how my data and information is shared. God knows we give enough up to our phones and our social media networks. Speaking of social media networks, that's one last thing. Apparently the casinos are considering finally leveraging social media networks to get their word out. I guess they realize that no matter how many ads they put up, no matter how many stodgy CEOs they can put on, they're not going to have that one cool guy. The only cool guy from a casino I've ever dealt with that wasn't an entertainer, to be honest, was Richard Wilk. He seems pretty amazing to me, and he seems to understand that kind of stuff. So maybe they're looking at what Richard Wilk is doing. I don't know. Maybe they're seeing that the response is great. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have walked too far towards these construction vehicles that are backing up. I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. But now that we have finally arrived at our final destination with the Rio, we do have to talk about the idea that Vital Vegas said, unsubstantiated rumor, don't get mad at me, blah, blah, blah. This place apparently, according to his sources, is being used as a COVID facility for people who are sick. Now, there's a lot of things that throw red flags all over the place for me on this. I'm just going to go over them right now. But the idea is that if somebody working for Caesars Entertainment feels sick, if they go and they get a test and they are sick, they're offering this place for 14 days for free. Presumably that would mean with meals and with room service to an extent. I guess who wants to go into a room with room service? You'd have to have a hazmat suit, so let's suppose there's no room service, okay? So, but with full meals and all the things that you have to worry about, locked into your room at the Rio, apparently there's 47, that's a very specific number too, by the way, 47 people who have taken this up. And I don't see it. And the reason I don't see it is simple, okay? Out of all the properties that Caesars owns, they're only doing leasebacks on one property. And if you don't know what a leaseback is, that is where somebody like the Caesars Entertainment that owned this whole entire building and plot of land sells the building and plot of land to a third party. In this case, it was a company based out of New York, and this happened in real life where they sold the property late summer, early fall. That means that the Caesars are now tenants in this, and the owner is a landlord. That means that Caesars Entertainment has to pay rent on this building. They get to run the gaming floor, they get to run everything as business as usual, but they have to pay rent. Now, why would you turn the one property that you have in Las Vegas where you have to pay rent every single month? Because you know what, unless you have a sweetheart deal with your lender, you're not getting out of paying your rent. Why would they do that at the one property? It could be, that car knew I was filming a video. It could be because in the case of the Palms behind me right there, they're also closed. I have a feeling why the Palms are closed, and I'll make a video about that. It has nothing to do with C19 virus. But it could be because this area is off the strip. However, the Gold Coast is open behind me. That's a locals hotel. So don't tell me there's no business in this area for casino properties. Maybe they think there's only room for one and that the Gold Coast is it. But the Rio being closed when they have to pay rent, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Also, if this news were true, wouldn't it make sense for them to basically, well, it wouldn't make sense for them would it make sense for them to spread it? I don't know. Would that show the world that they were doing the right thing to keep their employees safe from spreading it out to the community? That could be one thing that they would be wanting to do, but it just doesn't seem right to me. It seems like just this getting out, the negative publicity, if this ever did get out and was substantiated as a true rumor, would be just tremendously bad. People would be scared away from this building for years to come. That would put them out of business in terms of a renter who has to drum up some business to get them into their rooms. So I'm not really buying that much. And I would say that rumor unsubstantiated, probably not true. But then again, as somebody once told me, Vital Vegas usually has his rumors get busted and then come true in some way, shape, or form in the future. So it's always a possibility, I suppose, right? But what do you think about all of the options today? Would you guys do a virtual reality gambling thing, be it in your room or back home if you had the option? Would you do that in Vegas as opposed to an offshore bookie where you're not sure if your credit card information is going to be safe? Would you guys get gourmet meals delivered to you if you were out of state? We're hoping that you would keep Vegas in mind if it was coming from a Vegas property. What about the social media aspect and, you know, contact tracing for 2 weeks? You tell me something in the comments below. We're standing in front of the Rio. I have some great memories of the Rio. I used to take the free shuttle from right back here over and over again. The wife and I used to eat at the buffet over here, Caroline and I, all the time. I mean, I always wanted to see Penn and Teller, and now it looks like that's not going to happen for a long time, if ever. Who knows if Penn and Teller brings their show back. But we are out here in Vegas. It is the first week of August. We are in a heat wave, so I'm going to close the camera down and say like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you guys haven't done so, please do comment on the video. Let us know what you think about these news items today, plus the massive rumor over here. All this stuff I tell you might happen, might not happen. It is what it is. Sometimes these rumors don't come to pass because the casinos go in another direction, but this is just what they're talking about now. Check out the Patreon if you guys want. We'll have you guys in the credits tomorrow. I appreciate you guys being there with me. VegasFaceMask.com with no S on the end. Somebody commented about how these are too loose. Well, if I tighten it so much, I can't move it up and down when I'm quickly on the camera. It tightens up real tight, and you can see it goes around my whole face. But anyways, that's it. Commercial's over. Now's the time of the video where we say 3, 2, 1, click. So are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click.